our air is poisoned too. Now we know that the pollution's not in the water, but also in the air. And that makes me mad as hell.
Maybe it was just good timing or some kind of a coincidence, but when the people of Coronado Island started vocally protesting the sewage and openly criticizing the governor, suddenly the governor responded.
Yes, this is actually huge news that just came out about an hour and a half ago. It was announced through the governor's office from the Federal Environmental Protection Agency. And what that news is, and this is kind of deep in the weeds, but it's very, very important, is that for the first time ever, the Environmental Protection Agency is agreeing to enter into what are known as design-build contracts.
2, 3.
This was the scene last Friday on Coronado Island, the largest anti-sewage protest on the island in the long history of criminal dumping from Mexico. It is no longer a health crisis limited to the low-income communities of Imperial Beach and Tijuana. It is now poisoning the people of Coronado Island in record numbers, and the people here are fighting back.
Well, you can't help but think that now Coronado is involved. They're getting attention, which breaks my heart. Because any neighborhood, any American who has pollution on their beaches or pollution in their water should be attended to, should be taken care of. You know, this is government's job, is to protect the least amongst us, to protect all citizens, regardless of whether they're rich or poor.
In order to truly fix the sewage catastrophe that's coming from Mexico, the price tag will reach into the billions for both sides of the border. But with last Friday's timely announcement and the release of $350 million approved during the Trump administration, work on this sewage crisis could begin sooner rather than later on the broken down treatment plant on our side of the border.
That $300 million we already had. They just are loosening it up. But the best news out of that was the Army Corps of Engineers are going to be involved now, and they know how to do procurement. They know how to make stuff happen. So the Army Corps of Engineers is going to be doing that. They're doing an expedited timeline. But what does that mean for us on Labor Day or Labor Day next year?
We do know this Labor Day, the ocean is off limits from the border to the Hotel Del. A record amount of toxic waste being dumped, a record number of people getting poisoned, and a record number of days the ocean is off limits. It's getting worse, not better. And the people are rightfully skeptical about the future.
Because I'm one of those that until I see shovels in the ground and somebody gives me a date when it's going to be completed and these waters will be cleaned up, I won't believe it. We've been betrayed before. We've had a lot of promises, and Imperial Beach has been betrayed for decades.
All right, back out here, and as you can see, there are people in the water, but they're not going too far in the water. They're just dipping their toes and ankles because, yes, the closed signs are up on this Labor Day. Again, we are hoping, everyone in the South Bay and everyone in San Diego is hoping that the federal government and the state government finally gets the idea that this is a health crisis that has been happening down here, poisoning thousands of people for generations. It may not be a, quote, state of emergency according to FEMA, but this has been an emergency going on for 40 years. $350 million, that money has been available for a long time. It is now being released by the EPA, and hopefully the Army Corps of Engineers, who certainly knows how to take care of things like this, the sooner the Army Corps of Engineers gets here, the better off everybody will be here in South San Diego. We're in Coronado, which once again is closed on this Labor Day. Dan Plant, KUSI News.